Okay? Thank you, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Chicago Crime is Down. We got a lot to cover. We're going to start off here. Volume right. You know, it's that ratchet. 2 21-year-old females dead. 25 young man dead. Gary, Indiana. Hammond, Indiana. Might as well say Chicago. It's all the same, right? The girls was 21. I'm suspecting that their mothers and fathers is not 40. These was gonna go on to be some beautiful young ladies, right? Why didn't the parents get their taxes and head the fuck out of town, save their kid's life? Frank pulling to your right. Everybody is on the screen. They paid the ultimate price. I cannot say one thing negative about these kids. They didn't ask to be born. They were brought into this world by 2 other adults that think and thought that the best place for them to live their lives is in a lawless city with no economic development, no jobs, no opportunity, with a long history of drugs and crime. You all 3 should be alive right now because your parents should have seen this 20 years ago when they had you. So, start out with Deja Wilson. Okay. Deja Wilson was 21 years old. She was killed at a pool party. Did she deserve what happened to her? No. Does it make me sick? Yes. I don't really care about the circumstances. I just know that a 21-year-old little girl is not supposed to be dead on the streets of Chicago. I'm not going to get into the politics of guys are not supposed to kill girls. No. People are not supposed to kill people. We're animals in the eyes of these people. Okay? I could go and say, well, the people that did this is a coward. Well, I'm guessing that the people that did this to this little girl is around the same age as her. I'm asking, where are all of the kids involved parents is, because they can't be 40. Okay? They did not move you. Okay? It's a million things I can tell you today they didn't do. Well, I didn't have the money. You can't just pick up and leave. Well, you get taxes. I bet you get your hair done. I bet you get your hair cut. I bet you smoking good. I bet you don't miss that liquor store. I bet you don't miss them bars. I bet you don't miss the old school picnic. I bet you Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, your birthday, you turning up, you posting. I bet you at the latest function. This is the result. The country is bigger than Chicago, Illinois. You have to move your kids. And with that being said, please go and donate to this family. Her family needs $10,000 to bury their daughter. We've already raised $650. This happened a week ago. I clicked on this GoFundMe today. These are the results. And I read it. It says on July 28, 2023, Deja Wilson attended a pool party in Chicago Heights where she was then shot to death. Deja was 21 years old with a long life ahead of her. She always loved to have fun and love for the people around her to do the same. Always the life of the party, laughing, smiling, dancing like nobody was watching. So with all of this said, we, her family, we need assistance with funeral costs. Anything helps Thank you so much in advance. I could say a million mean things, but I won't. Adasia paid the price. It's annoying. It's irritating. Let's keep going. I got a long way to go.
Leaders are still trying to piece together what led to the gunfire. CBS 2's Sade Gray is live outside that victim center. Sade?
Oh, good evening to you, Jim and Erica. Yeah, the Chicago Police Department opened up this victim service center inside of this church, which is the Deliverance Temple Church of the Apostolic Faith. The idea is to help those victims from the deadly mass shooting in North Lawndale. The Chicago police discussed victim services and resources after 8 women and 1 man were shot at a birthday party on the city's west side early Sunday morning. 21-year-old Kanisha Gaines was shot in the face and died. She leaves behind a 3-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter. Chicago police initially said 9 women were shot, but later changed that to 8 women and a 20-year-old man. Police say without warning, a black Jeep with multiple suspects armed with guns got out and started shooting. The victims' ages range from 20 to 33 years old. One of the most critical victims is a woman shot 8 times, and she is still at Mount Sinai Hospital. CPD says this center will address financial losses, help stress with temporary dogs, with therapy dogs, and victims can talk to detectives to follow up on their cases.
Frank pulling. Officers were immediately dispatched to the scene located at 59 block of Park Street. Upon arrival, officers discovered that one individual was deceased as a result of the incident. All parties involved are believed to be known to each other, possibly traveling together. Frank was 25 years old. It is extremely horrible. Extremely horrible. Rest in peace, Frank. We're gonna get through these other ones. I'm irritated by them girls. Okay. David Terry, 28 years old, shot to death on 76 in Peoria. I couldn't pull any information of him. 28 years old. I don't know if he had kids. I don't know what the situation is. All I know is he didn't have to die. He could have been saved. 28 years old. Giacomo White, 24 years old. He was killed with Frank Pullen in Gary, Indiana. Both of those guys were killed. Apparently they was riding with somebody and they were killed. I don't know why, but he was 24 years old. No. Matter of fact, Frank Pulling wasn't killed with these guys. He was 25. When I get to the next page, this guy was killed with MARKISHACKETT. They both were 24. Nathaniel Williams, 35 years old. What I'm starting to understand in this city is that 35 years old is like 70 years old. If you make it to 35 years old, you live a long fucking time. I mean, from what I see. This is not correct. Fix it. Okay. Now let's move on. 24, 41, and 30. Shot and killed. This is MARKISHACKETT, 24 years old. He was killed with Jamal White in Gary, Indiana. 24. Andre Goodman, 41 years old, was killed on the 64th block of South Albany, Chicago lawn. Derek Ballark, 30, was shot in Rogers Park, 1300 block west. As I get to the point where it's not so many people, it's not overwhelmingly people, then I'll go and research their stories. But for the most part, I'm not doing that. It's a bunch of black people dead for reasons beyond, right? Okay, now this is 33, 53, and 25. Marshawn Stanley, 33, was shot to death in the 300 block of North Kilburn, West Garfield. West Side cracking. In my history of Chicago, the West Side used to be bad back in the day, but it had like a 20-year break of where it was like they were chilling. But now I don't know what happened. Cameron Webster, killed Kamarion Herbert, 17, shot to death trying to rob Webster as a security guard. And he killed him. It's sad all the way around. It's pitiful. Rest in peace to those brothers. Kyle, I don't want to say his name wrong. Estes, 25. From what I'm reading online, it says that he was killed going to attempt to kill. So it's horrible. Bad situation. Kyle was 25. Mr. Webster was 53. Marshawn was 33. Three brothers gone off the face of earth. Could have been married somewhere in Arizona. Could have been, I don't know, trucking across America in a truck. Could have been working on fixing their credit. I can tell you a million things that they could have been doing. But they happen to live in a city where the culture is like extremely ignorant and taking each other's lives and blowing each other down for nothing. If you ask me, that doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, Shaquille O'Neal, 27 years old, was shot to death East 71st Street. Son of Foster was killed actually in Foster Park. Familiar with the neighborhood. Jakarion Johnson was killed in the 800 block of West 54th Street. So that's 27, 23, and 18. All shot dead. You have watched me on this channel discuss it. It's like 13 people in a week. I couldn't. It's more people killed today. I just didn't want to make this video super long, so I'm gonna make another one tomorrow. I promise I'll start doing the research on these people to figure out what their street names was, what were the circumstances around their death. But let me say this, okay? Leave, okay? If you got to get your taxes and leave, if you got to borrow money from a family and leave, if you got to go to the army and leave, if you got to run out of gas, get in the way. I don't understand why you stay there. I've lived there. Like it's not that fucking fun. The owners of the bars are not upgrading the bars. It's not that fun. It's dangerous. Do you know, okay, I have a child in Chicago, and my child is 17, 16, 18, and I know I can't be there everywhere. But I know he not at home, and I know he out with his friends. You know how fucking nervous I would be if my child was outside? Do you have any idea of how nervous I would be? You know what I would feel? You know how much of a failure I would feel if I had to go to a funeral? Because ultimately, you could say that your child wouldn't listen. But you the adult, and you didn't move, and you didn't leave. You're looking at your last option is to be to leave. No, it's your first. Because this is hitting every area of the country. It does not have to be the person involved. It can be random. I put 4 girls up here. 4. That's dead. You know what? I miss some girls. I'm not even finished. I have another one. I forgot about this one. Where's the music? Okay. I got the, no, I got it right. 37, 30, and 16. A lot of people, when they seen his picture, because believe it or not, legal help firm, shout out to legal help firm. I got all these pictures from legal help firm, okay? And if you go subscribe to legal help firm, they post this every day, and they give much information, as I'm guessing that they can get. Chicago crime is down on Instagram, Chicago crime, something. But go and check them out and subscribe. Not hard to find. Jeffrey Henson was killed on 53rd block of South Low in New City neighborhood. And a lot of people out here where I'm at, it's like, oh man, yeah, whatever he did that shit, man. I don't look at that like that, man. Man was 37 years old. It don't matter what the fuck that man got on his face. If you remove that man from that situation, he lives. He lives. It's hard to be a gangbanging killer when you in Utah. It's hard to be a murdering motherfucker when you in Idaho. You know, I had a kid that was bad. I'm move your ass to San Antonio. I'm move your ass somewhere. You're gonna be living in Dilford, Texas. I'd rather deal with racism than stand over my child and watch them lower my child into the ground. Gangs don't work. Drugs don't work. Anything involving guns to get money don't work. Glenn Weston, 30, shot to death, 3500 block of South Roads. I don't know the surroundings of it, but I can tell by the comments you were very liked. I don't understand, man. You look like somebody that would be a really cool friend of somebody. I don't know what you was into, but whatever it is, just trying to take your life, brother, and teach somebody who might see this video a better way. You know? They might think before they go get in their car to go ride on some niggas, or they might think before they standing outside at night and be like, man, we about to get fucked up. Motherfucker might go in the house and go to sleep. Or they might call that cousin out of town and say, hey, cuz, I'm in a real bad position. They hiring at Amazon down there, man, I'm getting on the Greyhound in the morning. I'm out of there. 16-year-old Jayla Vranya shot to death, 400 block of West 72nd Street in Inglewood. There's no excuse. There's nothing you can tell me. Everyone is to blame. The people that killed you, your parents, your grandparents, everybody. There's no reason why it should be a funeral for a 16-year-old minor girl to be going to a funeral. There's no excuse. You can blame the Chicago police, you can blame the mayor all you want. It's your sorry ass mammy and pappy. You're laying down making these children and you're not raising them, and they out here in the streets and they in the wrong places and they carrying guns. It's the mama and daddy fault. You know? If you have a child killed, your voting rights should be taken away. You should no longer be able to vote who the next mayor is. You can't. How many police officers y'all want on the streets? You want every other car to be a police? You want the mayor to be responsible while your kids is getting killed? No. This situation starts at home. It starts with the mama and daddy, 16 years old. Where's my phone? I don't want to be on here. People be talking about, man, and they, All right. So what's 16? Okay. If you 16 years old and your parents had you when they were 18, they will be 34. So let's just assume your parents are 34, if not younger, 34 to 40 years old, right? That means they were around for the 90s. That means they've been around through this shit. There's no way in hell. Matter of fact, all parents from Chicago from the age of 40 years old and down, stop posting anything that you love your child. If you're keeping your children in Chicago, you're sending your children on a death wish. I don't care if they're not involved. I don't care if you put them in the right schools. You see what's going on up there. Those people are not attempting to help you. They are not putting economic development in your neighborhoods. They're not creating $30,000 and $40,000 jobs. They haven't created any. The only thing on the south side of Chicago was Walmart, Target, Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, Wing Out, gas stations, Family Dollar, Walgreens, Lowe's, Home Depot, and the one Ford plant that's out there in the suburbs. Other than that, you have 1 million people that cannot get employment within 20 miles of where they work. The entire city is on government assistance and Section 8 and low income. 50% of the city smokes weed and 70% drinks. That is not productive for your child to be in that situation. Your child has to walk home from school, safe patches, avoid gunshots. Do you realize, like, the G Herbo's album is the only correct album out here in the streets that should drive Chicago? Yes. By the time your kid makes it to 21 years old and they done avoided shootings, stabbings, the news, pregnancy, friends dying, murders, the police, the fucking detectives, fucking you up, this and that. They done been subjected to weed, pills, drinking. It's been somebody trying to sleep with them that's over the age of 30 years old since they turned 15 and now they're 18. If your child survives all of that, they have PTSD and they will not be diagnosed. Okay? So, shout out to all of the people I said on this page. Like I said, you paid the ultimate price. I don't have one negative thing to say about it because you have exited the arena. And while I do not have condolences to any of these parents except for Mr. Webster, because all of these 16 people I just put on the screen, their parents had the opportunity to move around. They got taxes, and I know they got them. They got taxes 8 months ago. 8 months ago. Okay? They could have left. So, thank you for watching. Good night.